Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily Dvar. And here's a brand new Halacha for you, and it's for Tuesday, the 8th day of April. Here we go. First of all, I want to remind you that this year, Pesach is going to look a little different at the beginning, and that's because Erev Pesach, the day before Pesach, is Shabbos. Now, usually on the day before Pesach, you're doing stuff like burning your chametz, etc., and things are going to have to change. So, let's discuss first of all Shabbos morning and the way it's going to look this year. You know also, if you remember from past years, that we don't eat any bread after the morning time, in the middle of the morning, and we also don't eat any matzah throughout the rest of the day. And usually on a typical Erev Pesach, a lot of people don't eat matzah from around beginning of Nisan. But this is going to make for an interesting thing on the day of Shabbos itself, because there it is, Erev Pesach, and it's Shabbos, and for most of the day you're not allowed to eat bread, and for most of the month you weren't allowed to eat matzah until Pesach arrives. And on Shabbos you're supposed to have 3 meals that are made of bread or matzah, so what are you supposed to do? Here's what the halacha, there's variations of it, but this is maybe the best way for you to approach it. Friday night is a regular ordinary meal with bread at the meal, and you can decide for yourself if you want to do that on Pesach dishes or plastic dishes or whatever. But if you have bread at the beginning of the meal, and make sure it doesn't touch anything that's Pesach in your house, be very careful about that, and you have bread at your Friday night meal. Then remember, every Shabbat you're supposed to have 3 meals, right, with bread or matzah. So the best thing to do is to wake up very early, daven Shabbos morning. A lot of shuls will have davening very early. Then you get home at like about 9 o'clock and you have breakfast with bread, maybe gefilte fish or something like that, and then you binge. And that was your lunch meal, okay? That was meal 2 of Shabbos. And then walk around the block or something so that there's a good distinction between part 1 and part 2, and then go to part 2 of your meal, where you will now you'll wash again, have bread, this is your shalosh shudas, and you'll have maybe the rest of your meal at that sitting. And that will take you all the way up until the last time that you're allowed to eat bread. Again, being very careful not to put crumbs all over your house. And that way you had 3 bread meals. Then later in the afternoon, when you can't have bread and you can't have matzah, and if you're hungry, you can have fruit or some meat or things like that. But the bottom line is that that's the way to accomplish having 3 bread meals on Erev Shabbos, which is Erev Pesach. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.